Yeah, one of the main challenges in this situation is that people usually feel an urge to act, an urge to do something, the urge to decide, is it true, it is not true. And then if it's true, I need to take action into a certain direction. If it's not true, how do I do to let go of this thought? So there's this sense of urgency. And usually come to therapy with this urgency, and they ask, sometimes in an explicit way, sometimes not so explicit, tell me if it's true or not. Yeah, they are asking this from the therapist. I think that answering that question with a yes or no is a mistake. Usually what seems to work, or it has worked for me, is to take some time to explore the issues. Like, all right, what happened in the experience? Let's go through the experience. What's the conflict that you're experiencing now? What happens if this is true? What happens if this is not true? How come that you cannot really decide? Many times it helps to go in depth with the experience and see how was the moment in which they felt that. What kind of emotions, what kind of physical sensations, what happened in that moment of experience. And then while you're doing this, that can take like 2, 3, 4 integration sessions, you actively hold making any decision. It's like, all right, we're not going to act yet. Okay, we need to clarify things first because we don't want to jump into action in a hurried way. Let's imagine that this is not true, and all of a sudden you go to the police and you file a report. That would be a mistake. Yeah, or that you decide that this is not true, but it was actually true. That would be rushing things. So for some weeks, let's hold that. Let's explore more until you will have more information, and then you can make wise decisions regarding what you need to do. Acting now would be too rushed because you're too much in an emotional turmoil. So now it's not a good moment to make a decision. Let's hold the decision and let's explore that more. Yeah? So somehow then you can frame this working scenario in which, all right, for some weeks, we're going to be exploring what's happening here. Yeah. Most of the times by doing this decreases the anxiety of having to act, of having to do something. And then it becomes easier to work through the experience and see other things in the experience that might have been not paid attention to because of the intensity of that specific event. Most of the times in these experiences, there were other things that were happening there. There were even positive aspects in the experience. So bringing a more general picture of the experience usually helps the person to have more perspective. In the situations that I've worked with, most of the situations, the person concluded that in a high percentage, probably the experience was symbolical, based on some traumatic events that might have happened. For example, if my father didn't allow me to speak and was a lot of repression and a lot of, I felt not free in that situation, I can experience that in a psychedelic experience as a form that maybe he's trying to choke me, some people conclude that. Right, all right, that did not happen, but many things happened that could be symbolically interpreted or symbolically expressed in that way. Yeah, most people concluded that. Some people concluded that something had happened, and they had signs in their life before this experience that there was something that had happened. But they also concluded that acting too soon would have been a mistake. So taking the time to say, okay, now that I have things more clear, I can decide what I want to do. And some people decide, like, you know what, this happened so many years ago that the best thing for me is to let it go, or, okay, I'm not going to go see this relative or whatever, but I don't need any sort of reparation. Some people have concluded the opposite. I want to talk with my parents, I want to bring this topic up, and I want to open to this. No? So what is important is that most of the times what I've seen as a resolution of these situations is not 100% of certainty. It's like this is 100% true, or this is 100% not true. There's always a degree, like with psychedelics. No? It's like there's so many levels there. There can be something that is literal, that is historical, there's something that is symbolical, something that is archetypal, so things can be very much mixed in different layers. But usually people find peace with that internal experience that they had, and they don't feel the urge to act or not act. No, they can find a more balanced place and say, all right, with this that happened, this is what I want to do.